Why do we need to find it? Is it something that we've misplaced? And what's the doing involved in its reacquisition? As Jeff Brown outlined in the opening words, we live in a culture obsessed with doing. One where doing is cherished, and the not doing is at best treated with suspicion and commonly misconceptualized as something negative or even unhelpful. Often our doing is framed with urgency, the urgency of getting somewhere, of racing from one place or state to another. At work, we're frequently asked if we're busy, and the expectation is that we'll nod and say that we are. And I dare those to challenge their employer by saying that they're not. We wear our busyness like a badge of honor, even if it requires a little extra foundation to hide the deepening bags around our eyes, or an extra coffee to hold us up in the morning, or even pills at bedtime to help us sleep. Even in our personal life, there's little let up. After a busy day at work, perhaps we might slouch in front of the TV to watch the further adulation of doing. For it seems everyone is on a journey to do better, to be better, to take their sad selves from where they are to somewhere they prefer to be. It is rare that we are with stillness, friends. Never mind find it. For it seems there is little praise to be had in simply showing up or being present. What if I were to say to you today, in this moment, that for the remainder of our time together, we aren't going to do anything? How would you feel about that? Perhaps so for some of you, it would be a blessed liberation. But I suspect for others, there may be a sense of disappointment, of being cheated even. Well, that wasn't much of a service, some of you might complain. In religious terms, simply being as we are, well, it isn't terribly good for business. And that business is the reframing and positioning of our spiritual growth and development. You could describe it as the business of connection, of relationship, and alleged healing. Religions encourage us to journey, to travel from one state to another. We pray for change, for a shift in our minds, in our hearts, and sometimes perhaps even in our material circumstances. We enact rituals and rites of passage, markers in space and time, calling out and celebrating our life journey, our transformation inside and out. And even this address or sermon, it's an act of doing. Perhaps your expectation is that I'll deliver a narrative that will affect your understanding of being, of presence, a neatly packaged bundle of cogent thoughts and reflections of a tidy beginning, a middle, and an end, and that in its unfolding, there will be revealed something that might, just might, change you in some way, affect how you are, or how you see the world. As Unitarians, in many ways, doing is our brand. Often we describe ourselves and each other as spiritual explorers, seeking social justice, striving to manifest our values, leading by example, all doing words. But it's not just religion's addiction. What we might describe as modern or new age spiritualities or faith paths operate within more or less the same paradigm. A common mantra is to be in the now, inferring that it's somewhere we need to get to, somewhere other than where we presently are. Much meditative practice invites us to journey mindfully to a reconnection to ourself, to our core, to our essence. The inference being that we are in a current state of disconnection from ourselves, and that meditation's purpose is to bring us back home. And here the doing is subtle. Frequently it is presented as a letting go. We are invited into practices that invite us to change something or to shift our awareness. Sometimes it asks us to reflect on our breath, to focus on our breathing, to change the rhythm of our breathing. With the intake, we are invited often to take in something, and the out-breath to release something. Maybe we're encouraged to let go or to get rid of our anger or our sadness or restlessness, and instead encouraged to find a place of peace, tranquility, stillness, and that word rest. In this way, meditation is a goal-driven activity where we seek to change from one state of being to another. And if we don't accomplish what we're seeking by the end of our meditative endeavors, then obviously we only have ourselves to blame. I let the monkey mind wander, or I allowed the ego to get in the way of true meditation. And we admonish ourselves and vow to do better next time. But friends, what if we truly stop for a moment and give thought to what's going on? If our meditative journey is to the destination of that which we call presence, of being, then where exactly are we now? In this moment. I'd like to read you the following words by the British author Jeff Foster on meditation, perhaps describing a type of meditation different to what we've become accustomed to. And he says, meditation is not about getting anywhere. It's about discovering that there is nowhere to get to, that you're already home, and your body is the ground of all grounds. It's about discovering true safety on your feet, in your hands, in the pit of your belly. It's about finding a sanctuary in your chest, a sacred shrine between your eyes, a loving friend in the breath, a mother in the motherless places. Meditation is not something that you do with your mind. In meditation, the mind relaxes into the heart. Seeking relaxes into finding, and even the most intense anxiety finds its home there. You cannot make it happen, but you can fall into it. Meditation is not for experts or the ones who know. Meditation is for absolute beginners, those who are willing to face their experience with wide open, curious eyes. Meditation is the field of love, an ever-present ground of safety, presence, and stillness that you remember or forget or remember again. Meditation never leaves you. It whispers to you in the stillness of the night, and even in the midst of an activated nervous system or a full-on panic attack, suffocating claustrophobia, or the urge to get out of your body, meditation is right there, holding you, loving you, gently kissing your forehead and willing you on. It will not abandon you. And ultimately, you will not abandon it. And closing your eyes to sleep at night, meditation is there, snuggling right up with you. You're safe in your own body. Friends, you're safe. Those words by Jeff Foster. I guess for many of us, if we are honest, we often want to be anywhere else but present in the moment to ourselves. And with this realization, let us be present even to that. I'd like to close my address to you with this prayer by John O'Donoghue, and it's a prayer for presence. May you awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. May you have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. May you receive great encouragement when new frontiers beckon. May you respond to the call of your gift and find the courage to follow its path. May the flame of anger free you from falsity. May warmth of heart keep your presence aflame and anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of the soul. Take time to celebrate the inner miracles that seek no attention. May you be consoled in the secret symmetry of your own soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. Thank you, friends, for listening. We'll hold a short moment in silence just now to simply be, after which I will take us to some closing words. Thank you. (2022). A belated Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Friends, this is my 50th year on this planet. And at this time, I've grown close to the realization that I've probably lived more than half my lifespan. Sometimes this thought deeply troubles me, but the reality is I've already lived and died so many times over in this body. The selves that have been held and released, the paths initiated and abandoned, the relationships opened and closed, the hopes and dreams that have risen and fallen and risen again time and tide over, all part of the perpetual cycle of birth, growth, decay, and death that unfolds ceaselessly within us and around us in every living moment, all present within me and part of me and part of you, infusing my presence with you here today and enjoining our presence together. And I'd like to thank you for being present. I'd like to thank you for welcoming me into your community and into your home. And I'd like to close with these words by Jeff Foster. It's so beautiful just to sit in this open space together, where nothing needs to be resolved or solved, where we don't need to fix ourselves or to be fixed, where our questions don't need to be answered, where finally our questions are allowed to be just that, questions, where our uncertainty doesn't need to be transformed into certainty, where our doubts are finally given permission just to be doubts. Here, in this warm embrace that we are in this place of true meditation without a meditator, without a goal, without a controller, we don't need to find the answers. We don't need to come to any mental conclusions about life. We don't need to work everything out because finally, our wondering and our wandering are trying to work it out and trying to make it all work. Our seeking and our searching and our desperation for answers is all just allowed to be here, exactly as it is. Thank you again, friends, for listening. We have a final piece of music today that's supported and nurtured me in so many ways untold, during what was a difficult 2021, and I'd like to share it in solace with you today. And after which we'll return to Marcia, who will bring our time together to a close formally.